Hey everybody, this is Renee Millman at reneemillman.com. So glad you're here to join me. Think back to the movie Enter the Dragon that came out in 1973 and go back to the scene when Bruce Lee is training one of his students and he asks the student to kick him, and then after the student does, Bruce Lee says, "How did that feel to you?" And the student says, "Let me think." And then Bruce Lee smacks him on the head and says, "Don't think. Feel." Remember that part? Okay, I've watched that little clip of the movie over and over and over. There is so much wisdom in what Bruce Lee is saying. Don't think, feel. And he goes on to say, we need emotional content, not anger. So how comfortable are you with, one, identifying your emotions, and then two, expressing them? Does that give you a comforting thought? Maybe not. But so many of us are not comfortable expressing our feelings. We may not even know what we're feeling in the first place. And the only emotion we may feel okay with expressing is anger, especially for the men. It seems like the only emotion that's acceptable for them to show is anger. Well, this sort of emotional constriction, is like a straitjacket that so many people wear. By and large, we are in an emotional dark age on the planet. We don't like feelings. We don't know what to do with them. We'd rather not deal with them at all. In fact, it would be easier to just drown our feelings in some sort of addiction or escape them altogether, no matter what method we choose. Just don't make me feel. I don't want to deal with it. Just put that over there. Feeling our feelings is hard sometimes. Of course, the good ones are nice, but so many times life dishes up feelings that are downright painful and maybe confusing, and we don't know what to do with all of it. So you may have the opinion, well, who cares? Why not just go with our mind, with logic, with linear thought and practical action? I love linear thought and I love practical action. I'm not saying to throw that away. But we have to include with that the emotional part of our humanness, because we are emotional human beings, and to cut off that part of us is to sort of chop the human experience in half and throw the other part out the window. And in order, I think, to have a really rich life and full expression of life, we have to let ourselves feel. It's just part of being human. And sometimes feelings suck. They do. And they can just drag us down. But I believe it's important that we learn to identify our feelings and express them when it's appropriate, because our feelings are like an emotional compass. They let us know what we like and don't like, what's okay and what's not okay. They help us know what we should strive for and what we might need to put down. Our feelings let us know what our boundaries are, and these are all hugely important things. We are not robots. If we didn't have emotion and express emotion, how could we then feel love and give love? So I think it is so important. And so many of us, we didn't grow up in feelings where our families sat down and encouraged us to explore and talk about our feelings. I mean, did you have that growing up? I highly doubt it. Most of us didn't have that. In fact, what you may have heard was something like, hey, talking about feelings, that's not gonna help, go do something constructive. We don't do that here. So many of us kind of got that more than anything else. But then when we get into relationships, that doesn't help many times. It can be to our detriment. You may not feel like talking about feelings is fun. Opening yourself up and being vulnerable, is that fun to you? I think it's so fun. But I'm a little bit odd in that way. I think it's great. That's why I do this work. But, you may not have a place where you can do that safely. So I encourage you to find someone like a coach, a therapist, a good friend, where they will hold that space for you to open up, where they won't judge you, they won't criticize you, and they will let you lay it all out on the line, and it's okay. And sometimes we need a witness to that process. We need a guide, a companion, who can just hold that safe space for us, to let feelings come up to the surface to be released, so we can let them go and get them out. It's very healing, very cathartic. So I encourage you to find someone that you can do that with. So remember, exploring your feelings, getting into your feelings, learning to identify them, and learning to speak them is a good thing. I'm just here to give you that reminder and that encouragement to allow yourself to do that. If you have any questions, or if you have a topic you would like me to do a video on, please leave it for me below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. Please help spread the word. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.